Hello my friends and welcome to this new video of syntax. Well, today we're going to talk about negation and where is the position of the negative marker not in a tree diagram. So let's start. The difference between auxiliaries and lexical verbs is also clear when we consider their distribution with respect to the negative marker not. So let's see these examples. John will not write any books. John may not write any books. John could not write any books. John has not written any books. John is not writing any books. And John is not bored. So here, as you can see, all these are auxiliaries, and what comes after them is the negative marker not. So in these examples, the bold-faced verbs, so these, the bold-faced, are classified as auxiliaries on the basis of the fact that they precede a VP joined sentence medial adverb, as we've seen in the examples of often and always, and also precede the marker of negation and not, as in these cases. In contrast, lexical verbs cannot precede negation. For example, we cannot say, John writes not any books. So this is ungrammatical. In order for the bound morpheme of the inflection to survive, it's going to die if it was left by itself. The verb do is inserted. So we need to understand this. احنا وش قلنا في examples اللي كنا هضرنا اليوم أنه الباوند مورفيم اللي كيكون في present. Let me check. There is something wrong. So هنا, as I was saying, ES اللي هي المورفيم ديال present to show the present غادي تكون بوحدها فاش غادي تكون في الانفليكشن. So غادي يكون عندنا something like John write not any books. So in this case it's worst. يعني المورفيم كيكون بوحدو و it's totally ungrammatical باش اننا ما عندنا حتى شي جمله في الانجليش دايره بحال هكا. John write not any books. So further to solve this problem بعدا خصنا just a moment خصنا بعدا not تجي قبل الverb هذاك المورفيم خصنا قالك نزيدولو ولا نانسرتيو ولا ناجوتيو الverb to do. يعني غادي تكون عندنا result something like John does not write any books. So هنايا the do plus the es ولات عندنا does. Okay? Do is inserted as a last resort operation to enable the sentence to survive. يعني بحال نقولوا أنقذها ولا سمح لها أن تعيش ولا شي لعبة بحال هكا. The inflectional morpheme must not remain isolated. Actually قلت لكم يعني ما يمكنش أن المورفيم يقعد بوحدو. The lexical verb cannot move up to it, nor can the inflection lower onto the verb. So ما يمكنش أن داك الانفليكشن يطلع لنا عند الفيرب أنه يطلع لنا عند الانفليكشن ولا داك الانفليكشن غادي ينزل لنا عند الفيرب. Okay? So do, which functions as an auxiliary here, is inserted to support the bound morpheme. يعني do هنايا انسرتينه باش أنه يساند هذاك المورفيم اللي بقى تما بوحدو. So the question arises, why is it that the finite forms of have and be move to amphil to pick up the finite inflection, while lexical verbs must remain VP internal. علاش زعما to be و to have كيطلعوا الانفليكشن والlexical verbs ما كيطلعوش بحال read, write, drink, eat. علاش كيقعدوا في ال VP enter. To answer this question, let's consider the distribution of the verb in French. So here, for example, Jean mange toujours du pain. John eats always bread. John always, John toujours mange du pain. So we consider this ungrammatical because the adverb always came after the verb. Okay? So we should say John mange toujours du pain and not John toujours mange du pain. For the example of negation, we have John ne mange pas du pain. John ne eats pas not any bread. So the negation mark is pas in French. John ne pas mange du pain is ungrammatical. علاش؟ لحقاش the negation mark كيجي مور الverb ماشي قبله. So in French, lexical verbs systematically leave the VP and unite with the inflection in ample since they precede sentence medial adverbs such as toujours, always, and negation marker pas. كي حنا واش قلنا في الانجليش الverb كيجي more الادverb وكيجي more negation marker not كما كنا شفنا في الاكزامبلز. المهم او واحد الاكزامبل ديال negation كما شفنا not جايه قبل الverb. So في الفرنش لا عندنا بالعكس الverb كيجي قبل negation mark وحتى الادverb كيجي more الverb as the same. داكشي علاش ان الverb كيقدر انه يتحرك من ال VP ويمشي للانفليكشن as this structure. كي John كيجي في ال NP. المهم عندنا كاملة هذه it's an IP. okay. John is an NP. الانفول غادي تكون فيها داك المورفيم ومن بعد مهم توجور هو الادفيرب وبعد داك الفيرب اللي كيكون هنايا اللي هو مونج غادي يطلع عند الانفليكشن as we said. Du pain is an NP. وهنا غادي نطرحوا واحد السؤال is what property distinguishes the grammar of French from that of English. يعني واش هي الحاجة اللي كتخلي الجرامر ديال الفرنش مختلف على الجرامر ديال الانجليش. The answer to this question might be related to the nature of the verb or else to that of the inflectional morpheme. يا إما يعني عندها علاقة بالverb يا إما عندها علاقة بداك المورفيم. One important contrast between English and French is that English verb morphology is relatively impoverished. المهم خصها تشاريتي مسكين. Compared to its French counterpart. يعني المورفولوجي ديال الانجليش is poor ولا قليلة ولا كنقولوا ما عندناش بزاف. par contre ولا بالمقارنة مع ديال المورفولوجي ديال الفرنش it's rich. Let's take for example the verb finish in English and finir finish in French. So here عندنا la conjugaison ديال each verbs هنايا in English and هنايا in French. So I finish we have no morpheme added. Let me take my pen. So هنايا there is no morpheme added. You finish, no morpheme added. She, he finishes. We finish, no morpheme. You finish, no morpheme. And they finish, no morpheme too. And what we remark is that in French there are only two forms of um, of the verb. يعني يا إما غادي يكون without no addition يعني no morpheme is added, or كيكون added في he و she و it as we know. So هنا عندنا just two forms نتاع الverb. روحوا نشوفوا in French. Je finis, tu finis, il, elle finit. هادو كاع معتبرينهم one form باسكو عندهم نفس المورفو نفس الفونيتكس يعني نفس الصوت ما كيتختلفش معتبرينهم كوحدة يعني مورفيم واحد. اوكي nous finissons, vous finissez, il elle finissent. اوكي سو عندنا هنايا واحد زوج ثلاثة and 4. So عندنا 4 forms نتاع الverb بالمقارنة مع هنايا عندنا just 2 forms. So هذه تعتبر rich وهذه كتعتبر pauvre. Okay? The present tense paradigm for French مهم هادو كنسميهم paradigms نتاع الكونجيكيزو. For French, finir has 4 different forms. The forms finir and fini and fini are not distinct phonetically. يعني هادشي اللي قلت لكم يعني هادو ما كيتختلفوش في phonetics. So they are considered as one form. While that for English, Finnish has 2 forms. يعني غير 2 يعني غادي يكون morpheme يا ما غاديش يكون. Okay? These distinct forms reflect agreement agar properties of the verb. يعني هادو هما اللي كنسميوهم the agreements. يعني من تشوفوا they for example تعرفوها بلي it's il ولا elle. من تشوفوا son كتعرفوها بلي nous. من تشوفوا es كتعرفوا بلي she ولا he ولا it. Okay? هادو هما اللي كنسميوهم the agreement properties of the verb. An inflectional paradigm with a substantive number of distinct forms of agreement is characterized as strong. And that strong inflection can attract the verb. يعني من عندها بزاف ديال الفورمز كنعتبروها بلي انها قويه وسينس هي قويه يعني هاد المورفولوجي ديالهم قويه سافيدير هي كيما نقولوا بحال المغناطيس هي اللي كتجبد الverb عندها. It can attract the verb. A paradigm with few distinct forms that to mark agreement is weak, and weak inflection cannot attract the lexical verbs. كما شفنا هنا في الإكزامبل ديال الإنجليش عندها weak distinct forms نتاع الagreement نتاع الverbs. داكشي علاش it cannot يعني هنايا في هذا الكيس the verb هو المغناطيس وفي هذا الكيس المورفيم هو المغناطيس. Okay? So I hope this is clear for you. And let's move on. Okay. So after finishing the part of negation, let's move on to something really interesting, which is transformation. For the part هذه we will see how to draw a tree structure for WH questions. So we have assumed that there is only one level of structure in syntax, that is the level of surface structure, which represents the superficial syntactic structure of sentences. And we have assumed that the task of any adequate syntax of language is to generate all the well-formed surface structures of the language, which can be done by a set of categorical rules, that is to say, phrase structure or a constituent structure. So كنا شفنا بلي كاين واحد الليفل ديال structure اللي كنسميوها surface structure اللي هي الحاجة المهمة ولا البيزك thing اللي syntax تدور حوله, which is generate all the well-formed surface structures of the language. In this section, we are going to argue that our existing type of rules are not adequate to handle certain characteristic constructions in natural languages, and that to handle them, we need to possess both a new level of structure, variously known as deep structure, D structure, underlying structure, base structure. So في هاد البارت غادي نتعرفوا على واحد structure جديدة اللي كنسميوها, المهم كاع حدو سماواتها deep structure, D structure, underlying structure ولا base structure. يعني تقدروا تسميوها اللي بغيتو. basically هذا هو الاسم الكامل. هذه كتسمى deep structure وهذه كتسمى surface structure. So هذه الابريفيشن ديالها is S structure وهذه الابريفيشن ديالها هي D structure. So هذه هي structure جديدة اللي غادي نتعرفوا عليها. And a new type called transformation, which is movement rule. We shall consider the syntax of WH questions in English and argue to handle this we need to possess a transformation rule generally known as WH movement. Consider this example. So باش نفهمو مزيان نروحو نشوفو هاد الexample structure اللي فيه. So which car will your father put in the garage? Garage. مهم, to help me pronounce this word, I used Google Translation. So garage. Which car will your father put in the
garage?
Okay, so we might propose a set of phrase structure rules. So this is obviously an IP. غادي نقطعوها بالشكل التالي. So IP consists of NP, AUX, NP, VP. المهم هذه كنا طكلناها كنا تطرقنا إليها في part سابقة. قلنا بلي أن كنديروا الكونستيتوينت ديال a phrase. المهم هنايا كيجيو الphrases وهنا كيجيو الكونستيتوينت ديالها. So عندنا IP هذه كاملة. Where is my pen? هذه IP كاملة from here to here. So it consists of an NP, AUX, NP, and VP. Okay? VP consists of V plus PP, V plus the PP. The PP consists of P and NP. ها هي ال P وها هي ال NP. And the NP consists of the that and the and the noun. So this is the structure of this phrase. So under VP we have put in the garage. Okay? But surprisingly, this is not the case at all. So what? يعني هذه ماشي هي هذه. Okay, let's see what we have here. So recall that put is a verb which is subcategorized as requiring both a following NP complement and a following PP complement. Opa. So هنايا عندنا put it selects two complements اللي هما ال NP وال PP, ولكن هنايا كنشوفوا بلي كاين غير PP, غير in the garage. So as we see from John put the car in the garage, we cannot say John put the car or John put in the garage. So it needs to be the NP followed by the PP, ولكن في هاد السنتنس عندنا only the PP. How? How? If you've seen that Egyptian. In the above PS rules, يعني هذيك شنها دركي, put is followed by a PP, not by an NP. What does this mean? It means the way our grammar is presenting constituents, it wrongly predicts that we cannot insert put under the V node, or it wrongly predicts that sentences like 10 are ungrammatical. So either هاد الجرامر راه يحتمل بلي اننا ولا بطريقه خاطئه يحتمل اننا ما نقدروش نحطو put في الفي نود او لا هاد sentence كامله is ungrammatical. So what is exactly the problem posed by WH questions, and how can we modify grammar to handle them? Although the WH phrase which car occurs at the beginning of the sentence, for subcategorization purposes, it behaves as if it were actually positioned after the verb. يعني هي كتصرف على أساس أنها كانت more الverb بالرغم من أنها ودي راه جاية في the beginning of this sentence. يعني واخا هي جاية قبل الverb إلا أنها كتصرف على أساس أنها جاية more الverb. Now, if instead of looking at non-echo questions, we had been looking at echo questions. You know what echo questions they are? So, if you don't, so echo questions هما دوك ال questions اللي كيتعاودوا. بحال مثلا نقولك واش راكم في الدار؟ تقولي رحنا في الدار. Okay? ولا oh god بالعربية ما عندناش ديك الكويشن اللي كيبقى تمايا I guess. I cannot think of any example في العربية اللي الكويشن يقدر يبقى تمايا. المهم it would indeed have been the case that an object phrase like which car would have occurred in typical object position after its verb, as we see from speaker B's echo question. So نروح نشوفوا echo questions بالEnglish. It's more clear than Arabic. So my father will put the Mercedes in the garage. So باش تعرفوا بلي Mercedes is something عريق. We use it in examples. So B echo question will be your father will put which car in the garage. So هنايا you can see that which car is an NP followed by a PP اللي جايين more the verb put, which is grammatical. Yeah, finally. هنا عاوتاني will my father put the Mercedes in the garage? Will your father put which car in the garage? So هنايا عاوتاني كتشوفوا بلي put راها جاية موراه ال NP followed by the PP. So واش راهم باغيين يقولوا لنا بهذا الشيء كاع؟ And interestingly, echo questions like those asked by B would not have posed any problems for our existing grammar. يعني باش يبينوا بلي أن ال existing grammar had no problem with these questions. Okay? يعني المشكلة ماشي في الجرامر. So there is something else. Suppose that we postulate that the WH phrase does actually originate after the verb. دوك الاحتمال اللي كنا نديرو في الماط لنأخذ بلي أن vraiment ديك WH phrase which is which car actually originates after the verb. يعني originalement بالأصل ديالها كانت more الverb and only subsequently gets moved into initial position by a rule which is called WH movement. بمساعدة ولا باستعمال واحد الرول اللي سميناها WH movement هاد ال NP ولا هاد ال WH phrase moved to the initial position. So let's read this and try to focus here. So your father would put which car in the garage? Using WH movements, it became which car will your father put in the garage. So هاد trace هادي اللي راها هنايا serves to indicate that which car occupied before it was moved. يعني which car كانت هنا وراها moved to the initial position by this WH movement. Okay? An analysis like this presupposes that we recognize two levels of structure in syntax. Firstly, the familiar structure أو la surface structure 11b، يعني هذه هي الجملة اللي كنعرفوها، وهاد structure كنسميوها ال S structure ولا surface structure. But secondly, an additional level of abstract structure 11a which underlies it and which Chomsky and others variously refer to as a deep structure, D structure, base structure or underlying structure. يعني هذه هي الستراكشر الجديدة اللي اكتشفناها ولا اللي ولات عندنا اللي يسميوها deep structure، اللي حنا غادي نديرو غير الابريفيشن ديالها اللي هي دي structure، لحقاش عندها كاع هاد السماوات، عندها deep structure، D structure، base structure، underlying structure. okay so باش فتنا من هادي استعملنا هادي وصلنا لهادي. so إلا بغينا نحصلو على surface structure خصنا يكون عندنا deep structure using the movement تولي عندنا surface structure. The underlying structure اللي هي deep structure, in this case it is related to the surface by a transformation, that is to say movement rule called WH movement. يعني la relation اللي كتجمعنا ما بين deep structure و surface structure هي هاد WH movement. وكما قلنا باش اننا نفوتو من deep structure خصنا نفوتو على WH movement اللي هي اللي كتخلينا اننا باش نوصلو ل surface structure. okay I hope it's clear. so إلا بغيتو ترسمو tree ديال ايتها WH questions خصكو ضروري تفوتو على the deep structure ديالها و by using the movement وهذا غادي توصلوا للsurface structure ديالها وتكونوا ما غلطوش. okay so it seems that a grammar containing movement rules like WH movement can cope with WH questions, whereas our early grammar lacking movement rules could not. يعني we could not use the earlier grammar to solve this problem because the early grammar ما عندوش movement rules. okay so to derive 11a from the 11b we need two movement operations, one involving the preposing of the WH phrase and another inverting the subject NP your father and the augs well. وحنشوفوا هذه اللي هضرنا عليها هضرك. اوكي so واش قلنا؟ اول حاجه خصنا نهزوها خصنا نديروها باش to derive 11a from the 11b from 11a، يعني باش نحصلوا على هذه واش خصنا ندير؟ خصنا هذه which car نهزوها نحطوها في القدام. اوكي تجي هنا باش تولي لنا which car، ولكن لاحظوا واحد الحاجه، عندنا will خدات البلاصه نتاع father و father خدات البلاصه نتاع will. سو هنايا غادي نديرو l'inversion دو sujet. اوكي قريناها في الانجليش في الفرنش you remember. l'inversion de sujet pour poser une question. So هذه غادي تجي هنا وهذا غادي تجي هنا و put غادي تكون so هاد الحريرة كاملة واش غادي نحصلو على which car will your father put in the garage. Ta-da! So that's the final result of this cake. Okay? So هنايا ما تخربقوا ما تدهشوا ما تخلعوا. Okay. Your father كتهز كاملة ما تنساوش your مهم هذه كاملة كتهز وكتحط قبل will your father. اوكي وهي ما تخربقوش will كتجي قبل your father و your father كتجي more will. اوكي هانتوما غير تبادلوا البلايص هذه جات هنا وهذه جات هنا صافي. Which car will your father put in the garage is the final result اللي غادي نلقاوها. So باش أنا نعرفو surface structure نتاع every sentence لابد نفوتو على deep structure ديالو. So before ما نزيد نخربقكم وانا كنهالي بزاف let's move on. كنا هنايا. So two distinct movement rules are involved for the following reasons. First, inversion may take place in sentences not containing a WH phrase. يعني بلا ما يكون عندنا WH phrase بحال will your father put the car in the garage. هنا عندنا l'inversion will خدات بلاصة your father و your father خدات بلاصة put. عندنا your father will put the car in the garage. هذه هي normal sentence. ولكن in order to make it a question درنا هاد الأوبشن اللي عندنا كأننا نديرو l'inversion de sujet ولكن نقسموها هنايا the inversion. Okay, so will خدات بلاصة ديال your father and your father خدات البلاصة ديال will. Never again will your father put the car in the garage. When the same thing happened here, زدنا هاد never again to make you wonder what's going on. So عاوتاني the same thing happened. هادي took the place نتاع هادي. The auxiliary خدا بلاصة the NP و the NP خدات بلاصة the auxiliary. That's simple. Secondly, embedded WH questions show proposed WH phrase without inversion. يعني, for example, I don't know which car your father will put in the garage. المهم ديك garage ولا ما نعرفت راه دارت لي الاراره ومشيت دخلت للترانسليشن نشوف كي تقرا خرج لي هذه garage so كتقرا garage. I'm sorry for the pronunciation of that word. I'm sorry again. I think that I've read it like a French person who's trying to speak English. Anyway, let's go back to the lesson. So we've said that secondly, embedded WH questions show proposed WH phrases without inversion. يعني بلا ما نديرو ديك l'inversion de sujet بلا ما نقلبو بلاصة your father تولي في بلاصة will و will تولي في بلاصة your father. Wait, let's take for example, I don't know which car your father will put in the garage. So هنايا the same thing happened. The movement صارت نتاع which car, it moved from there to here. Okay. ولكن your father قعدت في بلاصتها will قعدت في بلاصتها. They didn't change places. So this is a way. Okay. For these reasons, it seems clear that there are two distinct rules. One, a rule of WH movement which moves WH phrases into clause initial position in certain clauses. هذه أول حالة، يعني كتهزلنا هاد الموفمنت، هاد WH movement كتهزلنا ديك WH questions بحال من نقولو which car phrase WH phrase بحال من نقولو which car it is considered as a phrase. okay لحقاش it's noun phrase. ولكن من عندنا تما ديك which it's a WH thing وكنلصقوها مع phrase وكتولي WH phrase. okay كتموفي in the initial position يعني البداية ديال clause. And two, the second rule is a rule of NP and OGS inversion يعني l'inversion اللي كتصرى which interchanges an NP and an immediately following OGS in particular type of clauses. يعني داك الأوغز اللي يخصو immediately يكون من مورا ال NP ماشي يكون مجلوق في شيء نتوما ديروا له الانفيرجن. okay I hope it's clear because I tried my best to explain this. One question we can ask about WH movement is what exactly is a WH phrase and what kind of WH phrases can be moved to the front of a clause by WH movement. يعني وشنو هي هاد WH phrase وشنو هي أنا شرحتها عاد دركي مهم سبقت الأحداث وواش كاع الأشكال ولا كاع الأنواع ديالهم يقدروا أنهم يخضعوا لهاد WH movement. By WH phrase we mean a phrase which contain a WH word, okay, like who, what, when, where, etc. هنا عندنا type of phrases بحال مثلا a noun phrase containing a WH word can be moved. What has he given to Mary? Originally had sentence كانت he has given what to Mary? He has given his car to Mary. He has given love to Mary. He has given what? His promotion ولا the promotion ولا whatever to Mary. Lucky Mary. So the position هذا السبيس هذا نتاع هذه اللي كانت هنا. اوكي has he راها باينه بلي تقلبوا تبادلوا البلايص. okay the inversion والmovement. So هذه for the case of noun phrases. So from this example we know that noun phrases can move from their place ولا their original place and تانستالو في initial position نتاع الclause. Second example is a prepositional phrase has undergone WH movement. For example, about what are they caroling? About what? هي prepositional phrase. Its position was هنايا وبسبت هاد WH movement. It's moved from here to here. كترت تقنتيش my god. Okay هادي it moved from here to here وهادو تبادلوا البلايص. هانتوما شفتوا ال NP و ال auxiliary. They are caroling about what? This is the initial format ولا structure نتاعهم نتاع هاد sentence. Another example is adjectival phrase هي has undergone WH movement. For example, how anxious will Mary be about her exam results? So how anxious was here and it moved to the initial position. will marry changed the position تبادلوا بيناتهم. okay. so عندنا noun phrase, prepositional phrase والadjectival phrase can move from their initial position to the initial from their initial position to the close initial position. يعني من هاد البلاصة initial position تاع السنتنس تاع هادي يعني هادي من بلاصتها الأوريجينال كتقدر تمشي beginning of the sentence. well, I'm losing words. An adverbial phrase has undergone WH movement. هنقدر نقولوا how carefully did he plan his campaign. So it moved من هاد place لهاد place. How carefully, very carefully, so carefully, surprisingly carefully, if we can use it. But a VP cannot undergo a WH movement. So عندنا noun phrase, prepositional phrase, adjectival phrase, adverbial phrase قاع هادو can move. إلا ال VP, إلا ال verb phrase, it cannot move from its place. والو ما تقدرش. ما نقدروش نقولوا read which book upside down can he. This is nonsense. So the sentence can't can he read ولا which book can he read upside down. So read ما نقدروش زعما نديوها وهذا because it's ingrammatical. So it seems that only non-verbal phrasal categories can undergo WH movements in English. Okay, so yeah, that was it for today. I hope that was very good explained lesson. I'm sorry if it is long. I did my best to make it shorter. Believe me if I told you that this is the 10th time that I filmed this video, and I don't know, maybe I'm a perfectionist. I don't know, but hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully you've understood something from this, and yeah, without making it more long, I shall go. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.